basically guide tones is the backbone of any phrase. It can be chord tones, it can also be tensions. It depends on the type of colors you're trying to express. When we're talking about playing very basic guide tones, we're basically saying, just play me one note. Play me one note on each chord that describes the progression, describes that chord and leads into the progression. So for example, if we're talking about rhythm changes in B flat, we can start off on the root. And when we go to G, we can lead into this B, which is the third, and then we get this sound, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when we want to lead into the C minor, so we can just go a half step and we're in that C minor, so we get. Now, since the continuity of this line is pretty chromatic, if we just move another chromatic step up, we get the flat 13 of that next chord, which is F. So altogether we have then the next chord, D minor, is also just a half step above. Then when we go into G7, we can go into its flat 13. Then when we go into C minor, we can go into the 11. Going into F, we can go to the flat 9. Then when that F becomes F minor, we can go to its 9, G. Then a half step above would be the 7 of B flat. A tone above would be the 5 of that E. And now we can actually jump a step and a half into the 6 of E diminished, which is a beautiful thing to play, a 6 over a diminished chord. And then on the D minor, we're right on the root, G7, flat 13. On the C, we can play the 11, and on the F, we can play the flat 9, and then we can land on the 6. So we get this line, 1, 2, 3, 4. What I can do is I can start adding notes into those notes. So on that B flat, maybe I can play a B flat triad, first inversion, going into the next chord, G. Maybe I can play a B diminished, which is actually part of the G7 chord. Then going into C minor, I can also use a C minor first inversion triad. So I have, right, so it's still an exercise right now, but you can already see that just using triads, you're already getting a sense of phrasing. Now on the F, since it's a dominant chord and I'm playing a flat 13, I can embellish that with an augmented triad. Then, when I'm going to the D minor, I can also play the first inversion. And to the G, we get a G augmented. On the C minor 11, I can play this shell voicing of a G minor shell voicing. I get basically the 5, 7, and the 4th. Then on the F7, I can play this second inversion of E flat diminished. So far we get this. Then on the F minor, we can play a part of the shell voicing at 9. So we get this. This sound is the 9, flat 3, 7, then we can play this shell voicing over the B flat 7. Then on the E flat, on the 5, I'm gonna play a sus arpeggio. It's a sus 2. This is the triad. This is the sus 2 sound, giving me that add 2, add 9 quality. And then on the diminished, I'm just gonna play this diminished triad, which is gonna give me, it's the first inversion, and it's gonna give me the root, the flat free, and jumping into the 13. So far we have this. So on the D minor, first inversion, I am going to lower the 5 into a 4, getting this kind of suspended sound, leading into G7, which is gonna be a quartal harmony kind of thing, giving me the 7 sharp 9 flat 13, which is a sound from the altered scale. So of course that's a good reason to learn scales and arpeggios, so you know the materials, so you can build these kind of linear structures. And then moving into the next chord, C minor, I'm actually gonna take a part of this drop 2 voicing. This is the original drop 2, which has a natural 3, but I'm gonna raise up the flat 3 into the 11 over here, and then I can get this sound, which gives me the 11, the 5, the flat 7. And then when I'm moving into the flat 9 on the B flat, I'm gonna use this diminished structure that gives me this kind of like triad over bass sound, and gives me the 7, the 3, the flat 13, the natural 13 actually, and the flat 9. And then I can resolve it into the 6, and then I'm stacking some fourths above the root, so I'm getting a major 7, 3rd, and 6. So all together we have this. 1, 2, 3, And the wonderful thing is that this is also so good for comping. 1, 2, 3, And I'm gonna take a quick second here to let you know that I dive way deeper into these concepts on my course platform at weissguitar.com, where I recently released a full series on how to solidify your fretboard knowledge, Galactic Modern Guitar. In it, I teach all the fun and important foundations and the fundamentals that you can add into your solos and playing, such as chromatics, arpeggios, scales, chords, how to connect all of the elements when moving through chord changes, stuff like that and much more. There are over 15 modules, 96 videos and PDF that all include tabs and notation, as well as step-by-step guidance with instructional videos and exercises. And let me tell you, one of my biggest setbacks back in the days was trying to figure everything out by myself. So definitely a course I wish I had back in the days. Anyways, let's get back into guide tones. Okay, so now what I can start doing is taking those same notes, and instead of approaching them like with triads, I can approach them with enclosures. So if you're not sure what enclosures are, it's basically like a cage around the note. So if you have a note, that would be an example of an enclosure. Because I'm surrounding that note, and then I'm ready to target it. So it's like a ready, aim, here we go. So an example of using these types of embellishments can be something like that. 1, 2, 3. So I landed on my root, then proceeded to my next guide tone. So now on the next guide tone I can do maybe a part of a scale, maybe the Mixolydian flat 9, flat 13 scale. Then I can move, maybe only take 2 notes over here, just the root and the flat third, and then I can play the augmented triad. So 1, 2, 3. Then on the root, maybe I can play something like, you know, like starting off from the third, but then aiming into the, you know, this B flat over here. So 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going into G. So my next note is the flat 13 over here. I can play an embellishment from the altered scale. So this 7 chord is actually built out of the 7th from the G7 altered. So then on the 11, I'm just going to play the structure from the shell voicing we did previously. But I'm going to put the sta ta 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 ta. Then on, maybe I should play a chord now. So I'm just going to play that diminished kind of structure and then play the rest of the notes. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3. Now, being able to understand what's going on the fretboard, arpeggios, scales, the triads, the different voicings, and how everything connects, so you can actually start seeing one chord leading to another without being confused. But, you know, if you have an idea, most of us hear lots of ideas in our mind, and we can't really play them on the spot because of technical, theoretical, visualization stuff on the fretboard. So it's very important to have a very step-by-step guidance on that if you haven't yet. So that's it for today. If it's your first time here, hit the bell, hit that like button, please subscribe, and I'm really looking forward to see you in the next video. I'm gonna upload a video every week, so please stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video.